Hello, welcome to an episode of Story and Things. We are a podcast that reviews stories.
And talks about things that are sometimes about stories.
Sometimes about us, sometimes about
you.
Season 3. Thank you. Actually, Season 4.
Season 4. We keep making that you joke, but I don't think it really makes sense. It's not like a topical joke.
Mm-mm.
We're talking about the Netflix series.
But you know what? It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
It kind of does though, because now they're filming, but whatever.
Yeah, but this is an important episode because we're with the times finally. We're not falling behind. We're with something that's actually coming out at the moment.
Currently.
But before we start,
I'm your host, Haida.
And I'm your host, Chelly. And why don't we start with an icebreaker? And we have these cards that come from a card game called So.
Ellipses.
I think this icebreaker is very fitting to what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm excited.
If you want to join with us, if there's like a comment section wherever you're watching this, go ahead and add a comment. Go ahead and talk to us on TikTok and Instagram. You can follow us on @StoryandThings, StoryandThings. Don't ask me to repeat that. Just go back. You can definitely do that, but I would want to hear everyone's responses.
Okay.
The question is...
I'm nervous.
Do you believe chemistry is inherent, or is it something that you develop over time?
I think it depends on the person.
How?
Well, because with some people, you just immediately have this connection with them and you immediately vibe with them. I'm assuming that kind of chemistry.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That kind of chemistry? Not the class chemistry?
No.
So it's either that you immediately connect with someone right off the bat. You just look into their eyes and you know. They've seen the same things that I've seen. Or you just have this acquaintance and then one moment you guys just bond over something. Could be something big, something small, over a common interest.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's inherent though.
You know what's crazy though? I remember I had this one friend in elementary school that's actually a mutual known person between both of us.
Oh, yes, I know. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, well, anyway, I really like this person.
Oh, never mind.
But, okay, I really like this person, but there's just something that we can never go past to get closer. There's always going to be something, no matter how much both of us try on both of our ends. It just feels like that's a relationship that can never get further than what it is. You know
I just feel like maybe you guys aren't trying hard enough.
You're right. I'll call them after this.
No, I just mean like it's obviously a team effort and you both have to really want to build a connection.
And I don't. Oh my gosh. Welcome to this therapy episode.
Welcome to this episode where we find out that she doesn't really want to be your friend.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Damn. But I think about that sometimes because the thing is like with relationships, getting to know someone, you're right. It does have to be something that is both sides. But sometimes one person's going through something, which is kind of like what's in this book. So
it's very true. We're
going to be talking about the graphic novel and Netflix series Heartstopper by Alice Oseman.
Which you're already familiar with them.
I am. I read Radio Silence by Alice. Oof. Oh, I don't remember when I read it.
Like what, a year ago?
When I worked at my old job. That's when I read it.
Oh, that was when you read it? Okay, it's been a minute then.
It has. I really like Alice's work. And I was really excited when Heartstopper was...
Oh, excited. Oh, okay.
When Heartstopper came out with the whole like, oh, we're going to make a Netflix... I thought it was going to be a movie.
I did too. I was so confused when I saw episodes. I was like, I thought it was a movie.
But I'm kind of glad that they made a show instead of a movie because there's so much in this freaking story.
Yeah, I just thought they were going to condense everything.
So why don't I go ahead and read a short summary about Heartstopper. I do recommend you go read the graphic novel or watch the Netflix series.
A quick read.
Oh my gosh, remember when I told
fast.
you? Because we read all 4 volumes. And you had only gotten the first volume. And you're like, I have to read all 4? You finished them so quick, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They're easy reads.
Yeah. They were very easy.
We're only discussing the first 2 volumes because that's as far as the Netflix series went.
So I recommend if you want to be part of this conversation, go read the graphic novel first 2 volumes or go watch the Netflix series. But this story follows the life of Charlie Spring, a 14-year-old boy who is a year 10 at Truman School for Boys. After being outed as gay the year prior, Charlie's just a sad individual who has dealt with a lot of bullying and judgment. That continues on a little bit in year 10, but not really. It's calmed down a lot. In year 10, we see that he has a secret relationship, kind of more like a friends with benefits, with this year 11 named Ben. So his life continues like this until he moves forums, which is just like a morning class. And he switched to sit next to a year 11 whose name is Nick Nelson, the straightest rugby player. Or is he? Thank you.
Oh, I like that summary. My only thing is that I wouldn't describe him as sad. I describe him as nervous.
Yeah, concerned.
Yeah.
I just think he's anxious.
Distressed.
No, he's like an anxious. Yeah, he's... Yeah. You know what? He came Off more sad in the show.
Yeah. In the graphic novel, I felt that he was just a really peppy guy.
Okay.
But he did have a lot of issues, but he would mask that.
Yes, he would, definitely. So why don't we go ahead and talk about what we think our overall thoughts are on this?
I don't even have to think too hard.
Okay, why?
Because Chelly read these volumes.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many times. It was like, what, 10?
It's probably more than that.
20?
Yeah.
What?
I read it almost like every single day after reading it.
Okay, well, you're going to give this a 5.
You think I'm going to give this a 5?
Yes.
Wait, the series and the show?
As a whole, a 5.
Okay. You know what? I don't know how you feel about this. I actually don't. Because the thing is...
She's an ending.
One thing that I think is going to solidify your rating is the fact that there was never any real problems or conflict between the two main characters. All of the conflicts were outside, and they had the world's most perfect relationship.
Okay, you think that'd be a problem?
I think that would be a problem for you. Only because there was one point where I was like, okay, there's no way freaking teenagers are not fighting. There was one instance where they showed a fight.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing else. Perfect relationship. Have never yelled at you. I love you. But do I? But anyway.
I'm just not going to say it. It's too soon.
I think because of that, you're probably just going to give this like a normal 3. I don't know if you would reread it, but you liked it. But I don't think you would reread it.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, and your favorite is Charlie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are our ratings, but why don't we just get into talking about it? Because I want to.
Oh, do you?
I do. I'm not gonna deny it because you've seen my screensaver.
Yeah, she literally changed her wallpaper. Okay, that could have been my other reason for your rating. Your wallpapers are already Heartstopper.
I think I changed it back to Sonic, but I don't know.
Okay, you traitor.
Never mind. Never mind.
Interesting. Okay, you must really like them. Anyway, so let's start with Charlie.
Okay.
So as you mentioned, Charlie is just an anxious person.
Yes.
The Netflix series did a really good job with keeping everything the way that it was in the graphic novel. They did add more details, but overall, it was pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah.
So Charlie was more so anxious in the series than he was in the graphic novel. But when the story starts off, he's having this thing with Ben Hope.
Yes.
And in the series, he's like actually feeling him. He's like, that's my boyfriend, I think.
This is love?
But in the graphic novel, he's kind of already ending it at the start.
Over it.
He's over it.
So it's interesting to see, the 2 different types of Charlies, but they're very similar. So I didn't really mind that they did that. The difference between
I didn't mind that either.
And just him being like, is Ben my boyfriend?
Yeah, because it would make sense that he would assume that Ben also thought of him in the same way that he did. Because Ben wasn't out yet. And I think he was also in a sport. I can't remember which one. But he wasn't comfortable with people even knowing that they
knew each other.
Yeah. There was a moment in the series where Charlie was like, hi. And Ben was like,
who the fuck are you?
Why the fuck are you talking to me? I don't even fucking know you.
We're not even in the same year, bitch. Oh, hey, Nick.
Oh, Nick. Hey, Nick. That's my bestie right there.
Dude.
So I really felt for Charlie.
Did you like Charlie as a character overall?
Yeah. I thought he was realistic.
Is he your favorite?
I mean...
Oh, so he's not. Okay.
do I have to pick a favorite?
Out of all 5, yeah.
My favorite is obviously Tao.
Really? Mm.
I'm just kidding. I actually don't know. I don't really have a favorite.
Okay. I wanted to ask you a question. So I know when the trailer for Heartstopper came out, both of us had really mixed feelings about the actors that they had chosen for the series. Right, as of now, after watching it and letting it sit, how do you feel about the actor they chose for Charlie?
He kind of grew on me. When I first saw I didn't really see the trailer. I kind of saw a screen cap of it, and I just thought, oh, they don't really look. Well, sorry, Charlie doesn't really look like Charlie in the graphic novel. I thought Nick looked more similar to the version in the graphic novel than Charlie did. But after watching it, he grew on me.
He did grow on me. The thing is, I was more okay with the actor they chose for Charlie at the very beginning when I saw the trailer than I was with the actor they chose for Nick. So when I watched it, I was like, Charlie stan. I'm a Charlie stan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? What was it about Nick that you were like?
It's because I really like Nick. So I was like, I hope this actor does a really good job portraying Nick, which he did. But overall, I would agree with you. Charlie is a very complex character, and he's going through so much in the graphic novels.
Oh my God. Yeah, the bullying that he had to endure. I feel so bad for him, especially because in the series, he would constantly hide in a teacher's classroom and he would just be eating his lunch in the corner. And I just felt so bad because even though he has his friends, he was so isolated during that time where he was going through that bullying. And it really hasn't gone away. No. It's not as bad anymore, but... You
know what, though? The show did a better job showing the bullying than the graphic novel did.
Yeah.
I feel like it showed the consistency of it more. And it made me hate Harry a lot more than I did in the graphic novel.
Exactly, because every time Harry would pop up in the graphic novel, I was like, please, Harry, please. Not even scary. But in the series, every time Harry was in the screen, I was like, you better run. Yeah. My boy, you better hide. He was just mean.
But I think Charlie overall is a really good character. What do you feel about Nick Nelson, our second character?
Oh, you mean your favorite?
Yeah.
Maybe you should start it since he's your favorite.
Well, just to explain kind of his background, Nick Nelson is a year 11 going to Truman, and I hate saying this, but he's one of the boys. You know what I mean?
He's one of the guys.
He's super athletic. He's top in rugby. His friends are all kind of those guys that are just kind of yeah, and he's like that. And I think the show did a better job showing that he acts differently with his friends than he did with Charlie's friends. You can see that he's not really himself when he's with his friends.
Yeah. And his mom does make a comment about that too. She's like, every time you hang out with Charlie, I just feel like you're
more yourself.
You're yourself. She knew.
So Nick starts like this in the story, but slowly you get to see him get more comfortable as he gets to know Charlie and starts to develop feelings for him. He starts to open up more to himself and become who he is. I really appreciate his character because at first there was that sense of like, I can fix everything, and I did not like that.
About Nick,
how he was the I can fix you type of guy. But I like the point when he realized, oh, I can't fix you. Like, this isn't something I can do. So,
in the first 2 volumes?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. But I like how supportive he is, how encouraging he is to let Charlie do whatever he wants. Mostly in the freaking show, he's more like, oh, go do this. If
you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nick was the one who told Charlie, you should join rugby, because he saw how fast of a runner Charlie was. And he was like, we need that guy. We need those legs in this team. And when he told Charlie that he should join the team, Charlie was like, aren't I too weak and frail? And
he's like, but this is
just a school team.
So you're admitting it.
So you do think I'm weak and frail.
I just like Nick. He's so like, his energy is kind of chaotic, because remember in the first volume where he was like, hi, my pen exploded and now I'm blue. Like, what the fuck did I do?
I guess it's going to be a tattoo now. I don't know. I can get it off of me.
Overall, I think he is a good main character, and I would say he's my favorite.
I didn't think that he developed that much, though. from the beginning. Like, I never felt that, even though he did come off as, oh, he's one of the boys, he was never like the boys.
Exactly. In the graphic novel, right?
Yeah. So he was never, he was never mean. He was never rude, because those boys are always making really uncomfortable comments. But he was never like that. He was just more so quiet. He would just keep it to himself.
That's one of the points that I thought you wouldn't like, that it felt like the graphic novel didn't depict the worst parts of the characters that well, only because I think this was written more so for it to be like, oh, yes, they do end up together.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any flaw.
Yeah, I think the graphic novel was just more so like a feel-good thing.
Yeah.
Even though there were problems, I think overall it just wanted to focus on, okay, let's just get these couples together.
Yes, exactly. So I did love Nick, but I appreciate what the show did for him. I think that he was presented more
complex.
Yeah, in the show.
I like that too. I thought his character was done really well.
So let's talk quickly about a few characters that are also...
Oh, you mean my favorite?
Why don't we talk about Tao? Is he really your favorite?
I love Tao. I just really like that Tao was such an anxious friend. Okay, he did remind me of like me in high school. I was just so anxious all the time. Like, my friends are just gonna fucking leave me. So anytime he would notice that Charlie was staring at Nick too long, or Charlie was hanging out with Nick too much, he would be like, are you fucking breaking up with me?
Are you replacing us? There was even a fight that Charlie and Tao had where Tao was like, are you saying that I'm unsure of our friendship and think you're going to replace us? And Charlie's like, what the fuck? No, I didn't say that.
I didn't say it, but I mean, you got it out into the air. Something did change from the graphic novel to the series. So in the graphic novel, it was actually Tao who accidentally outed Charlie, his best friend, because he just was speaking too loudly and the wrong person overheard him, and that's how it went around that Charlie is gay. Yeah. But in the series, I don't think they ever say, right, how he was outed?
No, it just happened. And Tao actually, when he figures out that Charlie and Nick are dating, it's more so, oh, I'm scared that I'll accidentally say something. Like, he's aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
But in the graphic novel, he's not.
In the Netflix series, it's Elle that tells Tao that Nick and Charlie are together.
Yes.
And Tao does have a moment where he's like, did he not tell me because he thinks that I'm going to say something? Because I mean, I might, but
now I might just out of spite.
I don't know. I just thought he was realistic for the age.
Yeah.
It really reminded me, this is a high school. This is a high school romance.
I knew people who were like him.
There you go. I wasn't that anxious, but a little level.
But he was also very dorky. Like, everything he did was super dorky.
Oh, I know, the way that he would just start randomly dancing.
Oh my god, did I tell you once? I have a friend. I don't think you knew him, but he was your year. He was really tall. There was this one time, and the thing is, I was never really close to him. It was just one of those friends that you saw in passing, and you'd be like, hey. Mm-hmm. And I remember once he was like, are you going up? Because I was going to my calculus class. And I was like, yeah, I am. And he's like, okay. And he pressed the elevator for me and let me in and stood with me. And then just stood in front of me and danced really aggressively so I could hear the swish of his clothes for the whole time. And then I didn't say anything. I just stood there like, what the fuck is happening? And then we got to where we were and he was like, go ahead.
I was like, go ahead.
He was fine. Like, he was completely okay.
Was he trying to scare you?
I have no idea. But
maybe he wanted you to join.
He was really cool.
Why didn't you join?
I should have. It was high school me. I would not have. Okay, but I do agree with you. Tao is a very realistic character. I really appreciate how much he cares about his friends. And how you can see it better in the show. Yeah. So I also really like him.
Because in the graphic novel, I just felt that he was meddling too much.
He was.
He wasn't as developed, so I did find him annoying in the graphic novel. Yeah. But I mean, I get it.
I get you. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. Because, in volume 3, he gets even more annoying for me. But out of all of the characters, not counting the main 2, my favorite character is Elle. So Elle is also part of the friend group with Charlie and Tao and Alid, who's not in this, but part of that friend group. And Elle used to attend Truman, but now attends the all-girls school. And she is freaking amazing. Loves her friends, is so kind. Freaking, I love how she speaks her mind more in the show.
Yeah, I
She's
agree.
like, you guys are trying to do something? Stop.
Fucking stop it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She is such a good character. And I'm glad that they took the opportunity of the show to expand on her more.
Yeah.
I love Elle.
Same. Because I remember when I was first reading the graphic novel, I was like, dang, I want to know more about Elle.
Yeah. And the thing is, there was one point in the graphic novel where Elle puts her hair down. I did not know that was Elle afterwards. Because I was like, they never show this character. Who the fuck is this?
You're like, where did Elle go?
But I thought Elle was a really cute character.
Yeah, she really was. And so when she was going to the all-girls school, it was really difficult for her to make friends at first because she was new. And it must have been in the middle of the school year.
Yeah.
And so when she finally does make her friend group, I really liked the way that it was integrated and then added on to the friend group of Charlie.
Instead of them all just suddenly coming together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Tara and Darcy together?
As a whole?
As a whole.
Sure.
They attend, is it Higgs?
I think it's
School
Higgs.
for Girls. They are together romantically. They're both lesbians and they love each other.
Yeah, and it's so cute.
I really like Tara because Tara's the girl who everyone thinks Nick Nelson has a crush on because they kissed once when they were both 13.
Yeah, oh my God. You kissed once.
I know.
And now you're destined to get married.
So they think that, but she's like, I'm a lesbian. That's my girlfriend over there.
Actually, when I kissed you, that's when I realized I'm gay.
Yeah, so I really like both of their characters. They're just sweet and very supportive of Charlie and Nick, who are trying to come to terms with, like, how do we come out to people?
Yeah, and I also really liked how they showed the difference between Tara and Darcy. Darcy had already been out for a while, but Tara, you know, once they revealed their relationship, this was her first time experiencing being out. And I just really liked that Darcy was trying to calm her down and tell her, well, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It doesn't really matter.
She had more character in the show because Darcy in the graphic novels, she was sweet. I don't remember her much.
I don't think she was showed that much. I think maybe twice.
Yeah. And she was always shown as like the comedic relief. So I was like, okay.
I mean, she's a cute character, but I am glad that we got to see more of these characters.
Yeah. You know what I'm sad about? They didn't include Alid.
Yeah.
They were
sad.
They were part of the friend group with Charlie. But the thing is, Alid is part of Alice's other book called Radio Silence. And I think they did that on purpose because Alid has a lot of character.
Really?
Yeah.
So he would just take over?
Yeah, they would just not be in it. So I'm glad they added Isaac. At first I was like, who is this?
At first I was like, why is Isaac even here? He doesn't even say anything.
But the Netflix series, Isaac is so cute. I love him. And have you noticed he's always reading books about like gender?
Yeah.
Love
You're
him.
like, Papa.
Yes. He's so freaking sweet. Love it.
But there's not really much to say about him besides he's just a good friend.
Yeah, just a good friend.
Because he figured out immediately that Nick and Charlie were together. He didn't even...
It was so funny.
He didn't even have to be told.
All they were doing when he figured out too is Nick was cleaning Charlie's face, and then Isaac was like, "Oh, wait, am I interrupting?
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, I'll leave."
What a romantic moment.
So when we're comparing the show to the graphic novel, one thing I think that you're going to mention, or I would want to mention to see your thoughts on it, is the fact that I didn't feel like Volume 1 had many long-lasting conflicts. And as much as I love Nick, as much as I love Charlie, there was no real problems. And I knew reading it, oh, there's not going to be any problems, so I'm not going to cry. You know? And
you didn't cry?
Well, I did, but not the way I thought I was going to.
I thought it was going to be like a deep emotional cry.
I just thought that there was going to be more issues, but you're right, the entire thing was a feel good. I'm glad that the show added more issues.
Because it made it more realistic. Obviously, I don't know when the story is set actually, but it makes it more realistic that not everyone is going to be happy about it. They make it their own problem. So I did like the realistic approach, but I also did appreciate the graphic novel because Maybe sometimes you just want to read a feel-good story.
It was a really feel-good story. I read it multiple times.
We know. 25 to be exact.
No, I just read it maybe
32.
23. Stop. Stop calling me out. I like that the show added a character. Her name was Emojin.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Emojin. Emoji.
Emojin.
Yeah, I thought she was a very good addition because she added conflict, kind of, not really, but she added the conflict of...
Well, she did add a little bit of conflict.
Of just Nick coming to terms with, I have to be okay with people knowing that I don't want to date a girl. Mm-hmm. I like that.
And specifically, this girl.
Specifically, this girl whose dog fucking died.
Oh, that was so sad.
Oh my gosh. But I'm glad she didn't turn out like bitchy
or evil.
I was scared that was going to happen.
So pretty much Imogen and Nick had been friends for a while. I don't know. She said they'd known each other since they were kids.
Yeah.
And she ends up asking him out in front of everybody. Don't know why, but she did. And obviously Nick is a good person, so he can't refuse and embarrass her. So he says, yeah, totally. And when he finally decides, I'm going to tell her that I can't go on a date with her because I think I'm in love with Charlie. When he's about to tell her, she's like, my dog just died. And he's like, fuck, I can't tell her this.
I can't. Okay, fine. We'll go on 2 dates.
We'll go on a date, but in like a week. Thank you.
I like the addition of her. I thought it added to Nick's character. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't imagine Nick to be one who couldn't say no. But then I guess that kind of makes sense because he wants to be seen as liked by his friends. But that kind of threw me off that he was like, I couldn't say no to her.
Well, I understand just because everyone was watching. And that's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing for her.
Yeah. And for him because his friends would probably question him. Like, why don't you like her? She's pretty. She's cute.
How did you feel about in the show, every time Charlie would get bullied by Harry, Nick didn't do anything. And sometimes he didn't even look at him. How'd you feel about that?
How did I feel? I didn't like it. I thought it was sad.
But do you think that's true to his character?
No, I don't think it's true to his character because in the graphic novel, he was so like ready. He was always ready to fight anybody.
Yes.
Because immediately he actually pushes Ben Hope off of Charlie. Once Charlie breaks it off with Ben, he's a little salty. Mm-hmm. And after a while, he goes up to him and he corners him and he tries kissing him and all this. And Nick is the one who just yanks him off, pushes him away, and tells him to fuck off. Yeah. So I didn't think that it was that accurate to the graphic novel, but I do understand that they wanted to add that conflict of, oh my God, wait. If I protect him, they're going to think I'm gay.
You know, I think that's a different Nick then. Because you're right. That was his whole thing. Like, he didn't want to be seen as gay just yet. It's not that he was ashamed of Charlie. He was just not ready. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because the Nick in the graphic novel, he's like, I'm not ready, but I'm down.
Oh my God, in the graphic novel, there were so many moments where he was so clingy.
Yep.
When they were practicing rugby, he would literally pick him up and carry him, spin him around, and
hug him.
And he would be like, his hands all over his face, like squeezing his cheeks.
And there was one point where Charlie gets hurt and he's on the floor and everyone's like, you okay? And then Nick comes and he's like, oh my God, Charlie!
Pushes everyone out the way.
Out of the fucking way! Call 911! We need to get him out of here. And he puts him, slings his arm over his shoulder and, is carrying him. I'm gonna go get him an ice pack. I'll be right back. And his friends are all like, that was
a little dramatic. I don't know.
That was a little, dare I say, gay. It was so funny. Like, everyone knew.
Yeah, because they were having a moment and all of the friends of Nick were just watching and they were like, I'm pretty sure he has a crush on Charlie. Well,
I don't know. It's pretty gay. It's kind of gay.
It kind of is. I don't know.
And the freaking coach would always be like, stop. Nope. Don't even talk about them. Let them figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. She would have to stop them.
But I liked that about Nick in the graphic novel. I like that even though he wasn't ready, it didn't mean he wanted to show his affection to Charlie any less. Mm-hmm. So he would have those moments. And then just like when they would hang out, he would just look at him. Like when they were on the carpet. They didn't do it in the show. They had that scene where they were sitting on the floor doing homework. But in the graphic novel, it's Nick who looks up. And Charlie's like, you're fucking staring. And it's like, you're cute, bitch. You're cute.
I can't stop staring at you. It's not my fault.
I love that.
Same.
So
He was
freaking
such
good.
a golden retriever kind of guy.
He was more so in the graphic novel, even though they called him that in the show.
Yeah.
He was more in the graphic novel. God, he's so freaking smiley. I love him. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I really liked him too. I do understand why they wanted to make him a little bit more complex though in the series.
I do too. I appreciate that a lot.
At least struggle a little bit more with his identity.
As much as I like the graphic novel, I do appreciate that there was more happening in the show. And it wasn't too much either. It was just enough to be realistic of like, this is someone who's coming to terms with being bisexual.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, I love that he's not gay. And he makes it such a big thing. He's like, no, I do like girls. I did. I know I did. Keira Knightley.
And Orlando Bloom.
You know what I was hoping? Because there's a part in the show where him and his mom are watching Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom both on screen. And the mom's like, oh my gosh, remember you used to always beg to watch this movie. I know it's because you like Keira Knightley. There was a part of me that wanted that scene to be the one where he confesses and just be kind of like, I don't know, Orlando Bloom is kind of hot too, though.
And the mom be like, okay.
Yeah, I wish there would have been a scene like that.
That would have been perfect, honestly.
Yeah,
just to be
and then just bring it up, and then just both of them be like, yeah, he is kind of cute. And he just keeps going, and his eyes, there's a
and his smile.
But Keira Knightley.
And then the mom's like, okay, pass the popcorn.
I know. You've been talking about this for 20 minutes. Please play the movie.
Please, I want to get this over with. Yeah. I liked his character, though.
How did you feel about the fact that they made Ben a bigger issue in the show? Because honestly, in the novel, after he disappeared the first time, gone from my mind.
No, he did show up again at the party. When they were at the party, he showed up.
That was the first volume. Gone from my mind after that.
Really?
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that they kept bringing Ben up again because that's the only relationship that Charlie has ever experienced.
Yeah.
And I did really appreciate how at first when Ben was all over him and cornered him and then was kissing him and it freaked out Charlie, obviously. Nick was the one who came in and saved him, right? But then there was that other moment later on when Ben was just being stupid and Charlie pushes him against the wall and he's like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. You can't keep messing around with me. So I like that growth.
I do like that growth. And I do like that he's a consistent thing in the show. Like you said, he's the only reference that Charlie really has to a relationship. I do like that it didn't end automatically. That it's something that will always linger in his life. And I do think that it solidified an end in the first season of the show. But yeah.
He could come back.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Dude. Okay, wait. We'll talk about that later.
But the fact that Ben had a girlfriend this entire time.
I know. That
jerk. He's a cheater.
Yeah.
So sad.
So at the end of the first volume, and this is around episode 3 or 4 of the series, it ends with
their first kiss,
which is Charlie and Nick at Harry's party. And they ran into a room. They're by themselves. And Charlie's like, so do you really like Tara? Like, is that really what's going on?
Is that your girl?
And he's like, no, of course I don't like Tara.
I like someone else.
No, he's like, oh, so you're currently not crushing on anyone? It's like, well, I didn't say that. And Charlie's like, oh, okay, who is she? Like, what makes you assume it's a she? And he's like,
it's a he?
Is it not a she? And he's like, maybe. Would you date someone if they weren't a she? I don't know. And it's like, would you kiss someone if they weren't a she? And he's like, I don't know. Would you kiss me? And Nick's like, yeah. Wait, is this actually, wait, are
you down?
Mom, remember when we talked about Orlando Bloom? It's happening.
You mean Keira Knightley?
No, Orlando Bloom. You know what I meant. Talk to you later, Mom.
Okay,
yes.
I gotta kiss him. Hold on.
Mom, where did I leave my CarMax? It's in your back pocket. Okay.
Because he's in high school. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, they finally have their kiss, and it's super sweet.
It
but
is
then
really sweet.
they hear a commotion outside,
And
and Nick stands up, and he just walks away. And that's how it ends.
And it sucks because the show didn't show it as well as I thought it would. But in the graphic novel, the next volume, which is volume 2, it starts with both of them remembering that scene of what happened. And the way that Nick remembers it is him getting up and seeing how, like, sad and disappointed Charlie looked that he got up.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Charlie remembers it, he remembers the scared face that Nick made. But in his mind, it's like, he made that face when I said, would you kiss a boy?
Yeah, and so he's pretty much seeing it as a rejection when he asked, like, would you kiss me? Or when they were about to have that kiss.
I really like, though, that in both of them, in the series and the graphic novel, because they both can't sleep. So the next day happens and Charlie's like, whatever, another fucking Saturday. And he's getting ready and you hear the door knock and Charlie's mom is like, oh, can you go get it? It's probably the postman. And he goes over still in his pajamas and his hair is all over the place. And Nick is standing there completely drenched.
The pouring ass rain. And he's like, hi.
I needed to talk to you in person. I'm so sorry.
I couldn't text you. I couldn't wait. I'm here.
And when they finally talk to each other. Oh, first, by the way, I fucking love, because in the novel, when they come in, the mom's like, oh, Nick, I didn't know you were going to be here. Why are you here? And it's like, oh, he just came to pick up a jumper that he left. And the mom's like, okay, well, Charlie, you could have at least changed out of your pajamas. And there's this little drawing of Nick in the graphic novel of his character turning to Charlie really quick, looking at what he's wearing, and then it's like, oh, you know?
Uh-huh.
And they added that in the show, that little interaction. And I'm like, oh. I fucking love that part.
Oh, do you?
I do, and I'm not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed to admit that.
So they go upstairs.
But my thing is that the mom literally didn't even question the fact that he was soaked. He's literally soaked from the rain. And she's just like, okay, well.
Don't get it on the stairs. You could have at least put some toallas out. Like, damn, my mom would have been so mad.
Or something.
Yep.
Like
no,
bounty
shivering.
sheets. I don't know.
But they go upstairs and Charlie's just like, you know what, Nick? I just want to say sorry. I know I forced you. It was not right of me. I should have not done that.
Shouldn't have forced a kiss on your lips. And he's literally having this moment where he is like letting out all of his insecurities and he's freaking out. And Nick is like,
Charlie, and he grabs him and ends up kissing him.
Yeah.
And then Charlie's like, wait, you're sending me mixed signals right now.
Because I thought you didn't want to kiss me. I'm confused. But then they kiss. So it's like, okay.
And at that moment, Nick gets so like frustrated and he's like, I am so sorry. And he like leans on him. And by the way, that scene, because at that point, Nick pulls away and he screams and he's just like, I'm having a full-on gay crisis right now. Hello? And he says that. And I really like that scene because that's one of the only times, mostly in the first and second volume, that Nick shows like a very powerful emotion. There are a few other times, but shows a powerful emotion strong enough where he loses his cool. Yeah. And that was one of those points where he's like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on. I took a BuzzFeed gay quiz and I got a 62%, bitch.
68.
What does that mean?
I'm 68% gay? I don't know. I don't get it.
What happened to the other percent? Where does it go?
I thought it'd be 95. I don't
At
know.
least. I'm okay with 5%.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he literally did start taking quizzes to figure out if he was, because he had never had any feelings like this for a boy. So he was just really confused. And I felt so bad for him because he was literally having a full-on crisis.
And he was sobbing and he was just like, I have no idea what to do. Even throughout volume 1, every once in a while when it would show him again at night after he had just hung out with Charlie, he would get teary-eyed and he would say things like, help me, what's happening? Because he didn't know. But at that point, he's slowly coming more to terms because he knows that although he's not ready to be out, he does want to be with Charlie. And they have a conversation in the graphic novel, but also in the show, in the conservatory room of the house, which is just a room with a bunch of windows. And they're both sitting there and Nick is like, how'd you know you were gay? Like, what happened? And I know this conversation happens in the show too, but in the book, it's like, I've always kind of known. Like, all of my crushes, fictional crushes, have been gay. All of my normal or real crushes have been a boy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always been men, but you're probably different. And Nick is like, oh yeah, because, you know, I've always liked girls until I started liking you. And Charlie was like, wait, you like me?
Wait, you've liked me this whole time? And he's like, we've literally kissed like 3 times. And he's like, oh wait, are you serious?
We kissed? Oh my God.
Yeah, because he kind of expected it to go in the direction of his relationship with Ben, right? Not saying that they were similar, but he just wasn't really expecting much out of the relationship.
And it's interesting too, because in the novel, in the graphic novel, it to me never appeared like the Ben relationship. Mm-hmm. I never like put them on the same scale. In the show, it was like the relationship he had with Ben.
Yes, because there were moments where they would be together, and when they would get too close, Nick would freak out because there would be people who would walk around, and then you'd see it in Charlie's face like, oh. He's ashamed. And
even with they made it a bigger deal in the show with the whole bullying thing. Mm-hmm. When Charlie got bullied and Nick didn't do anything. Because graphic novel Nick wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. Graphic novel Nick would beat someone up.
He was ready to duke it out. He would never in the graphic novel.
You know what I mean, though? It's I felt like Ben and that comparison was such a bigger deal in the graphic novel, because as soon as they got together in the second one, in the second volume, even though they were not out, they were technically out.
Yeah, it was so obvious. It's not like they were trying to hide the affection that they had for one another. Mm-hmm. I did think that was cute. Yeah. But I understand why they try to do it a little bit differently in the series.
Yes, I understand too, because it's super obvious. Nick did not. Nick did not hide it.
Nick was really bad at hiding his feelings from the very beginning, honestly. Even before he realized that he had a crush on him. He was so like a little puppy.
You know what's one scene they cut out of the graphic novel that I hate that they cut it out?
From the series?
From the series. Oh. I hate that they didn't include the scene where Nick was talking to Tao and he's like, I know he fucking likes me. You know how I know? Because we went to a photo booth and there was no space and he made me sit on his fucking lap. He made me sit on his fucking lap.
I mean, he did tell him, I think he has a crush on me.
Yes.
But Tao was like, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but he has a crush on Tara.
Yeah. They didn't have that interaction. So when they go into the photo booth the second time, they're just taking photos. But in the graphic novel, when they go to the beach and go into the photo booth, Nick brings up, do you remember when we did this last time? And Charlie was like, you literally pulled me on your lap. And he's like, I don't recall.
Scandalous.
Thought that was cute. I wanted them to include that. But I'm okay. Really cute. I'm okay. I'll survive without it. I'll just read the graphic novel again.
Again for the 28th time?
27th, but who's counting?
24th.
Oh my gosh.
So the show ends with Nick finally coming to terms that I am bi. Mm-hmm. So he finally tells his mom.
And he officially makes Charlie his boyfriend, even though they made out like 10 times.
But it was official at the end. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of hiding. I want to scream it to the world that I'm in love with you. And not in a platonic way, okay?
How'd you feel about that scene when he did that? It's like, I like Charlie Spring, but not in like the platonic way, but like a romantic way.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was so him.
It is very him.
I was like, he's such a dork.
He is a dork.
I love him. Not as much as you, though, but I do love him.
I get it. I appreciated that in the show, Charlie got to a point near the end of the season where he was like, I'm ruining everything, so I'm going to have a talk with Nick, and we're just going to call it off. Like, I can't do this anymore. And he was basically getting ready to break up with him, and Nick can tell.
We could all tell, okay? He was like, we need to talk.
He's like, I just think we should. And they get cut off. So I like at the end of the season, it ends with Nick pulling Charlie away. And he's like, I don't want to break up with you. Like, if you want to break up, that's fine. I totally respect it. But I don't. Aren't you going to respect me?
Aren't you going to respect me and my desires?
You don't get it. It's the whole Orlando Bloom thing all over again. He's like, gets into it. You're Orlando Bloom. I'm Keira Knightley. We need to make this work, bitch.
Or it would be the opposite.
He's like,
you're my Keira Knightley.
Okay, and Johnny Depp is going to be Ben. You know, it's going to be this whole thing. And he's like setting it up, but...
And the Kraken is obviously Harry.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then Charlie's like crying, but he's like, yeah, you're right. He is a Kraken.
You're so right. He's literally a monster.
But I really like that he had that moment where he was like, I don't want to break up with you.
Especially because he was like, I want everyone to know. Well, the people that matter, right?
Yes.
He's like, I don't want to hide this. I'm just going to let it out of my chest. And what I really loved was the fact that this was the first time that this has ever happened for Charlie. Mm-hmm. So it really meant a lot to him. And you can see it in his face that he was like, I never thought this would happen for me. Yeah. So that was really cute.
It was really cute. And like you said, volume 2 and the end of the season is him admitting to his mom that Charlie's his boyfriend. And
his mom was kind of just like, okay.
I love that the season, it was the same conversation. But when he's talking to his mom, the way the season did it was the mom asking, when did you know? Or when did this start? And Nick says, well, we've been dating for a couple of months, but I've known for way longer than that. And it shows like all the scenes from the show. And it's
a little
so
montage. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, a montage. Cute. But I really appreciate how the mom reacts, though.
Yeah.
I think it's so sweet. And especially because she could always tell that he was really happy after hanging out with Charlie.
And she would often like kind of poke on it. She would just be like, oh, he's a special friend, right? And there would be like a little like look she would give him. Special Orlando Bloom, you know?
I see the way you look at Mr. Bloom, okay?
Is he your Orlando Bloom? He's Keira Knightley.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I thought it was done really well. But how did you feel about Charlie and his sister, Tori?
I love Tori. Oh my gosh, she is very older sister. She's very to herself. And even in the show, very good job including her because she really did just appear out of nowhere most of the time.
She was just kind of coming in and out of the frame.
Charlie would be like, what the fuck? How'd you get there?
She's a ghost.
Older sister magic. Like, I love how much she loves Charlie. And you can tell it by like all the little things that she does. And the part where he mentioned that he didn't feel like he wanted to be there anymore, which is a very worrisome thought.
It was really sad because he did honestly feel that he was the cause of a lot of problems because there was also another thing that happened with Tao and Harry and he felt like, oh, I caused that problem and I'm causing Nick to get into fights with Harry and I'm just the problem. I'm the common denominator. And he reveals to Tori that, you know, it's just like I keep ruining people's lives and like I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be here. And she starts tearing up and she hugs him.
She says, well, I want you to be here. You're not a bother to me. That is so sweet.
Yeah, I really like that moment.
She is a very good older sister. In the graphic novel, though, the way that she figures out that Nick and Charlie are dating, she always kind of knew in the graphic novel. But she figures out because she walks in on them kissing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just like, I bought you the pens you wanted. And when she gives it to Charlie, she's just like, good job. Good one. I know.
He's like, do you need some chapstick?
Do you?
No? Okay.
Carmen? It's in his back pocket. Just so you know.
I already put it there. Thank you.
When he walked in.
Yeah, she was a really good older sister. So, in general, how do you think the Netflix series did in comparison to the graphic novel?
They did a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Really?
I was really worried. I don't know how much I told you about how worried I was.
You didn't tell me anything. You don't talk to me.
I'm sorry. Only during business hours. I had this whole moment where I was... When I saw the trailer, that scene where Charlie's imagining Nick saying like, I love you and I'm gay and I love you.
That did happen though.
That did happen. And I was okay with it because that's exactly how it happened in the novel too. But when I saw like all of the extra animation overlay in the show, I was worried that this was going to be one of those LGBTQ movies that uses stereotypes to gear their characters. I did not want that to happen. And I was so worried. So I was just like, they need to do this right. They have so many variety of characters that are super diverse in this entire series. They can't fuck it up. So I was so picky with everything until I started it. And I was like, okay, I love this. Because the little flowers that would sometimes be animated that went through, that's exactly how the
graphic novel
was, because that's how they would show transition between like what was happening. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I was surprised that I actually really liked that too. Because I thought it would be a little bit distracting, but no, it was actually really cute. And even the way that scenes would transition, it felt like a graphic novel, like the way that the squares would appear and it would split.
And did you notice too, they did a really good job even showing like actual graphic novel screen caps, like with the way they filmed it. It was always in the angle that it was shown in the graphic novel.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I really liked that too. I thought that was cool. But no, I hadn't seen the trailer. So
why didn't you?
I just didn't want to. I don't really like watching trailers. I feel like trailers spoil too much sometimes. And I like going in blind. It's the same way with books. I don't like reading summaries.
Okay.
I like going in blind. All I need is the cover and the title, and I'm in.
Okay, I respect that. How did you feel, or how do you feel about this being a high school romance?
You know, I don't really love high school romance.
I know you don't.
So when I realized, oh my God, they're really young, it did kind of make me feel a little weird.
Yeah.
But overall, I did like that it was a feel-good story, at least in the graphic novel. It was a cute story, and, you know, their love was pretty innocent. Like, I like that. I like the way that it progressed, and I like that it's a coming-of-age story. You know, they're figuring themselves out. I don't seek out high school romances, but I did like this one.
Yeah, me too. They were super young.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know, it's kind of weird.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started.
I don't want to think about it too much.
Was there any scene in volume 1 or volume 2 or even the show that gave you the ick?
That gave me the ick?
That you were like, not down for? Nothing
that really comes to mind.
Was it Nellie? Did you not like how the dog looked at you sometimes in the graphic novel?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. When I started reading it, there was literally like a screen cap of Nellie, and Charlie and Nick were behind Nellie, but they were looking at each other, and Nellie was just looking at us.
Yeah, and you're like, why is she looking at me like she's in The Office? This
is an episode of The Office. she's just like, it's about to go down.
You can be honest.
No, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny. I freaking love Nellie. I love the way that Alice drew dogs.
Yeah. Wait, did you have a moment that gave you the ick?
No.
No?
I really
even in the series?
In the series, no, not really. There was more conflict in the series, and I appreciated that a lot because I love Nick, and I love that he was having so much conflict.
We know.
I love Nick.
We know.
I can't emphasize that enough. Did you see the TikTok I made where I was like, comfort character is Nick?
I didn't see that. No.
Oh, so you don't. Okay. No, it's fine.
You told me not to look at them.
Yeah, I did. I'm just messing with you.
You're like, but I'm still sad about it.
Do you think that the author of the graphic novel had a lot of say with how the Netflix series went?
I hope so. I don't actually know, because even when they did the credits, I think it just said created by. I don't think it said anything like...
Because the director was someone else.
Yeah, and the producer was someone else too.
How would you feel if, like, you wrote something, but then they took it, but they were like, but I'm going to make it spicier. You know, they're going to add more, like, conflict, more meat. Would you be okay with that if you didn't get a say?
I don't think so. But I do think they did a really good job in keeping it true to the characters. Obviously, the only difference, as we already said, was Nick and that whole... him being apprehensive with saving Charlie. That was like the only thing that I think would annoy me. I think if they didn't have a say in it and they changed Nick like that, I think that would annoy me. I would be like, that's not my Nick.
I'm glad Nick didn't go on that date. I'm so fucking glad, because Nick would never.
So he was supposed to go on a date with Imogen, remember? Yeah. But he did call it off, even though she was sad about her dog. eventually he does tell her, I don't like you like that. And she is a champ. She takes it like a champ. She's just like, I respect that.
I respect it. Even when they hang out the next day and everyone's like, how'd the date go? She's like, I could do better.
I could do so much better. So we just didn't go on one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was a good character.
Yeah, she was. I don't have much else to say.
I think we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Right? I think we've said enough. And it's obvious you're going to give it a 5. So go ahead
No,
and
you go first. Tell me about your 3.
No,
okay.
you go first.
Okay, so I did really enjoy reading Heartstopper. I will admit that we bulk film when we are going to come together and film for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I read Heartstopper second to last, and then I read Woven Kingdom.
Mm.
Let me just say, regret doing that because I had no motivation to read Woven Kingdom when all I wanted to do was keep rereading Heartstopper.
I had a feeling that would happen. When you told me that you kept rereading it, I was like, I wonder if she's finished all of the stories yet.
Yeah, so that was me with Woven Kingdom. So I literally had to sit myself down and I'm like, it's Woven Kingdom time. This is Woven Kingdom time. Nothing else can distract me. So I would literally read Woven Kingdom and then like, okay, 10-minute break. I'm going to read a little bit of Heartstopper.
So you give it a 5.
So I did really like it. I do think that the show did a better job in fleshing out the characters because like you said, it is a very feel-good webcomic, but it was on Webtoons to begin with. And that's kind of how Webtoons goes. It's just kind of a, here's my story and my OCs. Love them, you know?
Love them, please.
Which I love that. I love that there's a platform where people can do that. But I really, really like the series. If it weren't for the show, I would give Heartstopper a 4. But because of the show, I will give Heartstopper a 5.
I fucking knew
Thank you. Thank you.
See, I know you.
I know you. Well, I was super obvious the entire time.
For real.
Wait, can I just bring up 5.1 maybe? Because
what?
Alice Oseman made a Detroit Become Human AU.
Oh,
Nick and Charlie. So if you don't know what Detroit Become Human is, it's a video game where it's kind of a choose your own story. So you have to choose where the story's going to go. And then there's an outcome at the very end.
And your decisions do affect the outcome.
And Yahaira and I played that together in college.
We did, and that was so fun.
That was really fun. We were always stressed out because you were the one holding the controller. So
I had all the power.
Anytime like a hard decision would come up, and I think I told you at one point, you're not supposed to pause because it like takes away from the panic you're supposed to feel. You have to be able to choose quick. Anytime something would happen, you would pause and you're like, too much pressure. Too much pressure.
I can't fucking do this anymore.
But they made an AU where Nick is Connor and Charlie is Hank. And one of the deviants that Charlie had to deal with was Ben. That was so fucking good.
I didn't have a chance to look at it.
It's so
I can't wait to look at it though. But I didn't have a chance because I had class.
It's so good. It does that scene where Connor and Hank are... Remember when you're in Hank's office and Connor's looking around and you're like looking at his desk and it's like, ask him about his dog? No. Ask him about his picture? No. You know, it's that scene.
Yeah.
Fucking love that.
Yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah, oh my God, it was fun. Good times.
When are we going to do that again?
This breaks the lore of our show that we don't hang out.
Stop.
We used to live together.
Don't say that. We're friends.
Yeah,
okay?
we are friends. We are friends.
Best
friends. Wait, best?
Stop.
You like me? When did we start doing that? Was that me?
I think that was you.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
But I do give this a 5 out of 5. Hella recommend. I would not recommend to my coworkers.
Because?
I don't know if my coworkers would enjoy it. You know what? My coworker that I work directly with might enjoy this because I did give her my copy of Under the Whispering Door, which you can listen to our discussion in our episode of Story and Things, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get podcasts on.
True, bestie. True.
But anyway, she liked it.
She did?
She reached out to me yesterday and she was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And I'm like...
Really?
Yeah. And I was nervous, remember?
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'll recommend Heartstopper.
Maybe don't.
What if I...
Maybe don't.
Oops, my copies of Heartstopper. Oh,
Then what if she looks into it?
And finds me? Hi.
Imagine.
She won't recognize me. Am I recognizable? Be honest.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no, my secret.
But I dress so bland at work.
So it's.
You're right. I dress bland right now.
You have no. I'm.
Ah!
I hate you.
I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off. What was your rating?
Okay, so. Wait, I'm not exactly sure. What was the thing that you said that I wasn't gonna like?
You weren't gonna like that there wasn't conflict. That it was just feel good. That there was really nothing to the characters.
That's so funny that you say that. Because I actually liked that it was a feel-good story.
Oh.
Well, it was very different from our book, you know?
Yeah,
So
very different.
So I was like, wow, this is a nice little break.
Break from Den of Vipers.
Don't even.
Where's your viper? Oh, I don't have mine either. I got Yahaira a snake ring.
A snake ring? Yeah, thank you so much for that. It's in my heart.
Okay.
So, I think that if this was the first book that I read, I probably would agree with you that there's no problem. Mm-hmm. And by the way, all of the other couples just kind of get together really quickly. There's no conflict. It just kind of happens.
Yes.
But I did really enjoy the story. I didn't read it multiple times. I probably would read it again. I've just been really busy with school.
Oh, you would?
I think so, yeah. I literally was scrolling through it right now.
Ah, good for you.
And I did really like the Netflix adaptation of it. I thought they did a really good job, especially adding more to the characters and just making me love them even more. I really didn't have a favorite. I liked all of them. I thought they were so great. Even Tao, even Isaac, who was just kind of there. Mm-hmm. But I really liked this story. Even though I don't typically go for high school romances, I really liked how like innocent and cute it was. So I'd give it a 5.
Really? Yeah. I thought you were going to give it a 3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we know.
Wow. Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us.
A couple of cards. Who would have thought?
Not me.
I think this is the end of our episode. Thank you. Wait, this feels familiar. Whoa, deja vu. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're listening to us on audio form like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can leave a rating and a review, that would be amazing. I recommend for ratings. There's like a lot. It's like a lot of technicalities. Just put a 5. It's fine. I think
don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Don't think too hard. I would also recommend that you tell your friends about us. Tell your lovers, your family, your haters.
Your enemies? Your sworn enemies?
The best way to get exposure is through word of mouth. So if you can tell anyone about us, that would be amazing. If you are watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see our videos when they come out every single Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, around there.
Around there. We are also trying to be more active on social media. So if you want to join and talk to us, tell us how you feel about Heartstopper, because we're definitely still talking about it on there. Go ahead and join us on TikTok and Instagram with our handle Story and Things, StoryandThings. We also have a Goodreads, so if you would like to see our average of our ratings and how we felt about this book, go ahead and follow us on Goodreads with our handle at Story and Things, StoryandThings. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and end this episode the way that we always do, which is with a dice roll. If the dice lands on an even number, we are going to read a positive review off of Goodreads. If it lands on an odd number, we're going to read a negative review off of Goodreads. We are not affiliated with any of the reviews that we read, so if you see us making a face about a certain comment, no, we're not.
You're making the face.
My face is a trampoline, so anything that you say will bounce right back at you. I don't think this works here. But we're going to go ahead and read a review, and we're just going to leave it in the air, and it'll be the end of the episode. So thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and roll. What's that? 19 and negative.
Okay, so this comes from Samuel.
Okay.
They rated it a 1 out of 5, and they say, damn, this was bad. Sorry, it's more cringy than cute, and it really has no story. The only thing they're doing is kissing each other. Not for me.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Are we going to do another graphic novel?
Oh my god. Heartstopper Volume 3 and 4.
No, we have to wait till it comes out on Netflix.
The Sonic comics. Oh, we didn't talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Start over.
Quick. What would you rate it?
A 5 out of 5. Sonic is blue. That's my rating.
Wait, both?
Yeah. 5 out of 5. Both.
Oh.
Sonic is blue.
Okay.
You thought Tails was a girl. Thank you.
Well, I mean, Tails might be a girl. I don't know.
Good for Tails.